Welcome, everyone, to our Resilient, Wild, and Unstoppable interview series. And today we are interviewing Dawn. And Dawn is this Italian blend and this ultra intelligence, and you can tell by the books behind her that she offers so much. And I am really wanting to introduce you. So, Dawn, I'm curious, what inspired you to be on this journey that you are currently on?
Yeah, that's a great question. And thank you for having me here as we talk about this and reach out to the members in our community. And I would say what inspired me to where I am now as an author, speaker, and coach that helps women over 40 create a life of purpose and passion after years and decades, maybe, of putting everybody and everything else first. And what inspired me to do this is that I've been coaching and writing and speaking for decades and in various industries, everything from health and wellness to the defense industry, and now in working with women over 40. And I was doing that in my 30s and 40s. And then, drum roll or ominous music goes here, life happened. I was divorced after 24 years, laid off a couple of times, moved 3 or 4 times, and faced some of the most difficult emotional and spiritual and financial challenges of my life. And it would have been easy to fall back into old destructive patterns, but I didn't want to do that because that's just a downward spiral. And so I reached back in a couple of ways. First of all, I looked at all the things all the books that I read, all these seminars that I attended, all the books that I wrote in the seminars that I taught. Figured, well, these techniques work for a reason. Maybe I need to apply them to my own life. And and the other thing that I also did is that I looked back into my upbringing. I come from
Mhm.
an Italian American background, and I look to my grandparents who immigrated from Italy, and the sacrifices and the struggles that they faced and overcame them with resilience and perseverance and courage. And I realized, you know what? That DNA is in me. And if
Mhm.
they did it, I can do it too. And it totally turned my life around. It totally changed careers. And so for then the last decade or so, I have been back on this mission. It's not even really a career anymore for me. It's a mission to help people live their best life. Because your best life isn't a dream or a wish, it's a choice. And I can show them how to do that.
Yeah. Well, and that's cool that you realize that DNA for you was there. If somebody were to come to you and say, "Well, I don't have that DNA of resilience and perseverance," what would you say to them?
Mm. I would say, yes, you do. You might not be able to attach it to a particular person or like an ancestor or even a mentor or something, but you can look back at your life and see things where you have succeeded. Did you graduate from high school? Did you get your driver's license? Do you have successful relationships? Even if it was one successful relationship, you have past successes that you can build on. And it's like having a tool. If I need to put a nail in the wall and I have a hammer and I nail that hammer, whatever the nail into the wall, I still have that hammer that I can use it again in something else that I need it to. So if I graduated from high school, that means that I can follow directions and I can take tests. In other words, I can perform under pressure. I did it once, I can do it again. If I ever had a best friend or someone that I was in love with, that means that I know how to get along with people. That means I can do it again. So look back to your successes because you do have that DNA inside of you. You just might have to brush it off and remember it.
Shake off the dust bunnies.
Exactly, exactly.
I'm curious, is there one of your books that would be most beneficial for our audience to know about?
Hmm. I would say, aside from the co-author of the book that I co-authored with Jack Canfield called The Keys to Authenticity, it was myself, Jack Canfield, and several other authors who are amazing people, and they're all short stories, short instructions. And so that would be a great way to get an overview of a lot of different perspectives. And then for my solo books, I would say it would be The Italian Art of Living, because
Ooh.
I show how that, again, not just my grandparents, but that Italian art of living where they appreciate the what I call the foundations, the pillars, the F's, faith, family, friends, and food. And it's funny, the food is like, oh yeah, delicioso, but it's not just because of the food, how it tastes. It's what happens around the food. That you get together, you sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody. You sit down at the table at whether it's a holiday or just a Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night, and you talk and you connect with people. And so the Italian art of living helps people discover their own personal renaissance, and it's all really about that connecting with yourself, your past, your future, and connecting
Mhm.
with others.
Oh my gosh. I always knew food was involved. Well, and family because it's always a large number of people.
Right, right, exactly.
So that's awesome. I think I might want to read that book.
Okay.
So, being on this journey that you've been on, experiencing everything that you've experienced, and I know we touched on this a little bit, but I'm curious if you can give three super tips
Mhm.
for our audience to really help them think about maybe what their next first step or best step would be.
Absolutely. And you said something very important there. You don't have to know the entire journey of whatever it is. You
Mm,
only need to know your next best step. What can I do today? One step. Someone wants to write a book. Okay, maybe you're gonna come up with a table of contents. And then what are you gonna do tomorrow? Well, tomorrow I'm going to start writing the introduction. And before you know it, you're holding that bestseller in your hands. So one step at a time. And I would say the three tips that I would give go back to my word for the year. I don't do New Year's resolutions. I do either a word or a phrase of the year. One year it was just say no because I was overextending myself.
mm.
And other times it's something, like peace or love or generosity. My word for the year this year is now, because
Mm.
especially the older that we get, there's a lot more sand at the bottom of the hourglass than there is at the top.
Oh,
But not
yeah.
not not to be depressed about it. That should put a fire under us and say, hey, someday is today. So
Mhm.
using that word now as an acronym, the number one thing is to notice what interests you, what sparks you. And maybe it's a dream you tucked away long ago, or something you've just always wanted to do, or you love to travel, or you want to start a garden in the backyard. Notice what makes you come alive. The O in the word now is about opportunities, being open to opportunities. I know a lot of times we're busy, we're tired, and we just automatically say no. But at least consider something when somebody
Mhm.
presents an opportunity to you, and at least think about it before you say no. And then the W for the word now is all about we, and we as in connection. Blue zone studies prove that connection with friends and family are a key to a longer, happier, healthier life. So notice what sparks you, be open to opportunities, and it's all about we.
Wow. And I love the blue zone. I
Yes,
don't know if you call them theories or communities.
yes.
Um, and when you talk about the blue zone, and then you also talk about the Italian feasting and families and all that, I'm thinking there might be some Italian blue zones I don't know about.
There is, exactly. Sardinia, Italy is one of the blue zones. And for our listeners and viewers that don't aren't familiar with that, it's areas of the world that have a population, a higher than normal population, over 100. And so they studied them. The Blue Zone group studies them to see why. Why are they so happy and healthy? And especially in Sardinia, that was one of the things they found, that the elders stay connected with the community. They're
Mhm.
revered, and they give advice. They might not, and they exercise and they eat healthy food.
And I think they are also connected to Earth.
Yes, yes,
And that 100 is 100 years old.
right.
Just,
Right, 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 right. Yeah.
I heard community of 100. It's like 100
Right.
years
100 years
old.
old. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes, yes. Communities I follow. So this has been fabulous. Anything else you want to talk about or share?
I would say that it is never too late. You are never too old to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
That is fabulous and a great way to end this interview. Thank you so much, Don. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, Ted. I appreciate being here.